This tentative agreement is a win for citizens, and we're proud to be working with the mayor and Chief Garrison and getting this deal done. Like she mentioned, it is subject to ratification by the members. It's their choice, along with council. At the end of the day, firemen know that public safety far outvalues any timing of benefits. And I just want to say that firemen have done nothing wrong. I think that's come to light. And in this process, it's a very difficult process at times, but we are working together. There are things that felt are being given up that they shouldn't be, but it's being deferred. I want to make that clear. Just last night, we had a 4-alarm fire, which was a huge undertaking. And so when we talk about firefighter safety, it's a very real thing, and citizen safety. But I do want to reiterate that we are working together, and I encourage the firefighters to vote their conscience. Thank you.
Chief Garrison, you...
Sure. Thank you very much, Mayor. Mr. President, I'm extremely happy because we started the collective bargaining agreement in December, and we met and we said we're going to be interest-based bargaining. We're going to focus on what's good for both sides, and we came together and focused on really firefighter safety and customer service. And that's what this agreement is. It's a focus on firefighter safety, customer service, while helping us be fiscally responsible. So I'm incredibly happy. I'm happy for both sides. And there was compromises, and I think that's what this agreement's all about, is compromising our principles and some of the thoughts we had for you, the customer. We're going to continue to be out there. We're going to continue to go on calls. We want you to call 911 when you need us. We want you to have faith in your fire department. We've got a good group of men and women, and we just want to continue to be there for you. Thank you very much.
We're happy to answer questions. I want to remind folks that when I first came in as mayor, we had 3 contract negotiations that first year. We negotiated contracts with police, fire, and municipal. Those contracts were of different lengths, and I salute HPOU for coming in and doing a long-term contract with us. All 3 unions did a contract where there were 2 years because of the recession with no pay increases. The HPOU negotiated a contract because they gave up guaranteed pay raises with back-end pay raises. Hope negotiated a contract with 2 years of no pay raises, a 3rd year pay raise, and an escalator based on the economy. In the HFD contract, it was 2 years of no increases, and in the 3rd year, based on the economy, there was a possibility of a wage reopener. So we were already at the bargaining table for something we had agreed 3 years ago. The pressures of the unexpected overtime came on top of that, but because we were at the table and we had a good productive dialogue going, we were able to quickly resolve this issue and move forward, which is what brought us here today. Any questions?
Mayor, I see that the deal addresses the question of guaranteed holidays. It was my understanding that scheduled vacation was kind of a separate category of benefits. Is there a concern that under the agreement, a large number of firefighters could still choose to schedule vacation, and that could in itself create an overtime problem?
Well, Mike, the vacation for this year is already scheduled. What we're going to be working on is the schedule for 2015, and the parties are going to continue to negotiate in the context of the new contract to have some kind of formula that helps us with vacation smoothing.
I can chime in on the guaranteed holiday. Mike, to address the guaranteed holiday, we did some research on that, and in the old contract, it sets at 10%, which is about 82 people off or allowed to be off any given day on a holiday. Part of the compromise was to reduce that number down to 5%, which is about approximately 42 members off any day. Our research has shown that out of the 365 days of that possibility existing, only 28 days did we exceed 42 members off. That's approximately 10% or 1 month, and we think that's reasonable a reasonable give and take in this situation.
So given the issues you were anticipating this month with rodeo and spring break and whatever else, how have you solved that? And I know it gets in the weeds really fast, but so people can understand, how did you solve this? Have you told firefighters they can't take the day off? I mean, what have you done this month to solve this crisis?
Well, one thing that the mayor mentioned, that by the firefighters giving back, deferring their benefits that they've earned to fiscal year 15, that allows more money to be freed up to sponsor special events like the rodeo, to keep the units in service and to keep business going in service.
I'm sorry, clumsy question. How did you keep so many people from being off on the same day? I mean, as I understand, that's what created the overtime issues. When you have a spring break and you have dozens of men and women off, how have you controlled that under this deal?
Well, part of that is by capping different limits, less firefighters will be able to be, for a contractual obligation, to be off during that day. But to answer your question about in the past, it really is about firefighters stepping up and being here and serve the public. That's really the fix of it all, is that firefighters continue to do that. So when they have scheduled holidays or scheduled vacation, they choose to either move those, defer those, or cancel those so they can come to work. So we don't come to a brownout.
There's still a lot of money to save in this. We're talking $8 to $10 million. I know that this helps, obviously, going forward. How do we save the money that we've already spent?
Again, it's more than $10 million in budget overrun. Some of that was for the response after the fire last May, the horrific fire last May. And so we had focused on the overtime issue because we moved money from other departments into firefighter budget to cover unexpected emergencies. We're not trying to penalize them for that in any way. And that it is a projection to the end of the year. They haven't gone over budget by $10.5 million to date. It's expected to. And so we believe with these various steps that we can get there, but the administration reserves the right to make operational decisions on a daily basis as to how many fire apparatus will be running in order to make sure we stay in budget.
Yeah. When will the agreement be brought
Yeah,
before
Dave,
council?
you need-
Well, it's
Sorry.
important to understand that guaranteed holidays have been canceled through June 30th. That's a significant savings right there.
What system do y'all have in place to track when the
Is
time
there,
is requested off?
what media outlet are you with?
I'm with my own site.
Anybody up here?
When will these be brought before council and the union for a vote?
Immediately.
Okay.
The
So
council this
Wednesday,
week
Wednesday
and,
Council next.
excuse me, council next week.
Yeah, my efforts here is to get a format in place that we can put it to a vote sometime later this week in preparation or anticipation of getting it before council as fast as we can.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, will firefighters need to cancel already scheduled vacation to make the numbers work, or are the guaranteed holidays enough to get this done?
Please.
So, as Dave mentioned, the vacation is already scheduled. So we already know exactly how many members are going to be off for the remainder of the fiscal year. We've, due to the agreement, we've canceled and we won't allow any more guaranteed holidays. So now the unknown factor is the unscheduled holidays, the sick, the emergency vacation and such. We know that our firefighters, because they always do, they're going to step up, they're going to come to work, and they're going to defer some of the time that they would take off until after the fiscal year. So we really believe that 35 member a day unscheduled vacation, or unscheduled leave, which is a sick leave and emergency vacation, is a good number for us. We don't anticipate having to brown out, but you never know what could take place. But once again, the vacation is already scheduled. The guaranteed holiday is canceled for the remainder of the
Is it,
fiscal
Chief,
year.
is it fair to say the guaranteed holiday is just like a no excuse day you don't show up? You invoke it. You have to invoke it.
Yeah, so a guaranteed holiday. Our members work Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving, and they have to spend those holidays. Many times our members will have Christmas the day before, the day after Christmas, and because they do that, they get a certain amount of guaranteed holiday that they can take later. what we ask them to do is several days in advance to schedule those. So that is a scheduled vacation, but it's done in a short period. It's not like the vacation is scheduled at the beginning of the year and followed throughout the year. So what we do is, and we already stopped that, so we won't allow any more guaranteed holidays, and they're aware of that, and they'll just postpone those, the time that we owe them until the future. So
It sounds like a lot of this relies on sort of moral pressure on firefighters to.
We prefer to say that we're all acting in good faith.
yeah. You know, and there's really nothing immoral about a firefighter who's sick and has to stay home sick. What we're saying is the guaranteed holiday, the emergency vacation, if you have an emergency at home and there's some other way to manage it, if your wife can take care of it, your brother-in-law, your husband, whatever that is, try to take care of that. Where now, you know, if you need to take off because you have a plumbing issue, you need to take off. That would be emergency vacation type issue. So we're saying, please, you know, manage that in a different way. Help us get through the next couple months so that we can get to the end of this fiscal year and then keep on doing our business is what we're asking. So there's a responsibility on both sides, but I think it was the mayor has made a commitment. Everybody needs to know that she made a commitment to staffing our vehicles in the safest way possible, and that's 4 members on every engine and every ladder. And there's a lot of cities, the first thing they do when they get in a budget crisis is they cut one of those members and go to a 3-person staffing, which is extremely unsafe for the firefighters and for the citizens. So her commitment to the staffing model also causes some problems. So it's that give and take piece. So we appreciate that she's done that. We appreciate that our members are willing to I think, delay some of the things that they'd like to do over the next couple months and help us do this.
Mayor, two administrations have fought very hard to get proper staffing on the fire trucks, and at the behest of several firefighters who have died in the process. So we appreciate that. I know you wouldn't go back on that. The question still,
That's the 4 firefighters on the truck.
right. They fought hard for that. But the question still remains, what is the status now so that you come together on this issue? And then when it comes to the meet and confer that you've been trying to get for the past 4 years?
You will find every one of us up here absolutely committed to one thing, and that is that we need more firefighters coming in. We need more paramedic classes particularly, but we need to increase the size of the service because we are an aging fire department. And we know we need to replenish the ranks. And that has to be one of our biggest priorities is to continue to grow the department. All of these other things, it's about managing the situation on an ongoing basis, but we are committed to a productive bargaining relationship. And I sincerely hope that Local 341 members ratify this agreement, council ratifies this agreement, and we're immediately back at the collective bargaining table for a long-term solution to some of these issues.
Mayor,
So-
this is